You have been giving civil service jobs to Labour supporters and Labour donors.
Well, there are clear processes and procedures in place which govern those appointments, and
We all remember times when the Conservative Party continually said that, well, all of the rules were followed at all times about political appointment. Again, because it's true, the rules were followed. It doesn't make it moral or ethical.
Is cronyism bad under a Conservative government but okay under a Labour government?
cronyism is something which Keir Starmer has made very clear he wants to drive out of government. You know, for him.
You literally just gave KPMG like a massive government contract after saying that you wouldn't do. Labour Together, who basically run the Labour Party at this point, is funded by hedge fund bankers, by private equity bosses like Clive Hollick and Martin Taylor, bringing disgraced ex-ministers from Labour parties past back in the House of Lords to be cabinet ministers through the back door. Come off it. Come off it. Giving a Labour peer who donated 500k to the Labour Party a number 10 pass.
He's not doing a good job so far, is he?
Well, for him, process and procedure is absolutely critical, and I think...
Yeah, but the processes and procedures that we have now allow for cronyism. Again, I say it every time, but when we deal with conflicts of interest in political appointees, in terms of donations, in terms of our political class, the way we deal with it is by declaring you have a conflict of interest, and that's it. You can get away with anything as long as you declare that it's corrupt in the first place. People can point out as much as want. It's not illegal. It's not against the rules to appoint cronies. It's just bad. You can follow every procedure and still do cronyism. We care about the morality, James. We care about the morality of what you're doing, whether it's ethical or not, rather than whether or not the rules allow for it.
As he said that this morning at his press conference. He made very clear how important process and procedure is to him. And I think anyone who knows him, anyone who's listened to him and what he's had to say over the last few years knows how important that is to him. And that's why
I thought you said you were going to be better than the Conservatives. Things were going to be different, you said.
Yes, and Keir Starmer has started driving that change by making sure that we are a government of service, that we're focused on the needs of the British people, rather than internal party politics or other distractions.
You are a liar.
Literally one of your main things that you went into the election with about keeping the two-child benefit gap. All it was about setting like factional internal party scores from 9 years ago. Literally reheating 9-year-old beef on the biggest political stage in the country whilst starving children. The Labour Party is nothing without internal factional battles, and it played out in like the first week of government. No one is taking this seriously, James. This is pathetic.
You're giving civil service jobs, you have been giving civil service jobs to Labour supporters and Labour donors.
Well, there are clear processes and procedures in place which govern those appointments, and they...
This is identical! This is literally identical to what Boris Johnson said. We all remember times when the Conservative Party continually said that, well, all of the rules were followed at all times about political appointments.
Confident that he will determine that I was appointed on merit. That's obviously for him to conduct that investigation and process. It was a highly rigorous process, I can tell you, being part of it. Very tough interview, and I'm sure that process was fully and carefully recorded, so it can be minuted and seen whether my appointment was done on merit.
Do you think that what David Cameron has done is acceptable?
Well, look, I think the key thing is he's not broken any of the rules, and you'll recall
that's not what I'm asking.
Well, I think...
I'm saying, do you think it was acceptable?
Well, it is acceptable for people to work within the rules.
Again, because it's true, the rules were followed. It doesn't make it moral or ethical.
Need to be followed, but no one can be in any doubt how important this is to the Prime Minister. It's absolutely critical for him to make sure that we restore trust in politics and that we have processes in place that are followed.
Right.
And again, that doesn't make it moral or ethical. And on top of that, you can't restore honesty in politics when Keir Starmer is like the biggest liar in politics. A man who has just constantly lied consistently for 4 years. He lied about taxing the rich. He lied about nationalising water and energy. He lied about abolishing universal credit. He lied about ending NHS privatisation. He lied about the voting on military action. He lied about free movement as we leave the EU. He lied about internal party democracy. He lied about abolishing tuition fees. He lied about reforming our asylum system. He lied about the right to disconnect. He lied about abolishing the House of Lords. He lied about the immediate recognition of a Palestinian state. He lied about influencing the recommendations of the Ford report. He lied about proportional representation. He lied about the two-child benefit cap. He lied about taxing big tech. And he even lied about stupid stuff like whether or not he considered Jeremy Corbyn a friend and a colleague. He lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. And these people just think it's a funny joke and then wonder why there is so little trust in politicians and journalists these days.
In opposition, Keir Starmer accused the Tory party of giving their supporters jobs for their mates. He promised to restore standards in public life with a total crackdown on cronyism. You've given jobs to Labour supporters or donors in the civil service, which is supposed to be impartial. You've given a security pass to the Labour peer who paid for Keir Starmer's spectacles and chinos during the election campaign. That is the definition of cronyism, isn't it?
Well, look,
Yes.
firstly, I'm not going to comment on individual cases.
Why not?
Because I'm not going to. It's not.
We've all read
appropriate-
about them.
It's not appropriate for me to comment on the process that was gone through in individual cases.
How does it smell, do you think? Does it pass the
let me-
sniff test?
All I can say more generally about this is that people who are long-term involved in a political party and support a political party, that should not prohibit them from then helping the party in government. That should not exclude them.
Yeah, but the civil service is supposed to be neutral. It's supposed to be a neutral entity. The civil service is there to enact what the government says it should enact, not to be in hock with the government. It's supposed to be there as an impartial procedural department to carry out the work of the government. It cannot be impartial if it has literal cronies appointed to it.
Them from being able to do that.
It's
So
hard
have
to see you
people-
making that argument
Look, you
if it
have
was a
people-
Tory supporter or donor being given a job in the heart of government.
If you have someone, look, without commenting on the specifics, you mentioned Lord Ali, who I know has been a long-term contributor to the Labour Party and to our work in opposition and to try and get us into government. So I know that someone like him has been long-term part of the project of trying to get a Labour government.
So what?
But I don't want to, but without getting into the specific
Well, you
details.
just have. So what? If he's been a long-term supporter of the Labour
That
project,
shouldn't exclude someone from helping us in government.
how does it look? What's the perception? This guy paid for Keir Starmer's, literally paid for his clothes during the election campaign. And then he gets a security pass and
that's
holds
why-
a reception down in the street garden.
But that's why it's important to have the procedures and processes in place that need to be followed. And no one can doubt, having listened to Keir Starmer over many years and what he said today, how important it is for him to make sure we have those processes and procedures in place in government.
James Murray, thank you very much for talking to Newsnight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership to just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.